Welcome back to Speaking Llama, a Survivor podcast. This is Alex coming at you. And after another wild tribal council last night, I'm here talking to the latest castaway voted out and second member of the jury, Sam Webb. Sam, how are you doing today, man?
Alex, I'm shattered, man. I'm absolutely shattered. It's been a roller coaster. That tribal council was very intense and definitely didn't play out the way I was hoping it was going to play out, man. It's disappointing.
No, me neither. I have to tell you, I was watching it on my phone this morning and I threw my phone when an auto wasn't played for you. I was so sad. I've got to say too, before we get started, two quick things. One, we always do a fantasy tribe on our podcast. So we pick 5 players at the beginning of the season. You were one of my first picks. I was so excited to have you on Team Alex. You did not disappoint. So thank you for being incredible. And two, I just want to say I have really admired your gameplay, both your first season and this season, as well as kind of what you're doing outside of the game as well with your organizations and stuff like that. So excited to talk with you about both those things today. So
thank you, man. I appreciate the support, and thanks for having me on your fantasy team.
Anytime.
I hope I did you proud, mate. I did my best, and look, here we are.
Yeah. Hey, you did me real proud. So thank you. All right, man. So first question for you. You had the longest gap in between your first season and this season of any of the returners. Can you walk me through how did you prepare that first season to go out on the island? How did you prepare this season? Like, what was the difference between those two?
Yeah, difference definitely was the years, obviously. First season I prepared, I went on a health retreat. I got in shape, started declining my calories. First time, mate, I didn't really know what to expect. This time, though, was a bit different. I wasn't given a lot of time, heads up into the game, which probably worked in my favor because I was over in Dubai when I got the call. And mate, here we are. I did very similar stuff. I was smashing the gym. I was trying to eat healthy and just to keep positive and just be open. I wanted to go in second time round more open, not expect anything, play a little looser, not be so fixated on certain things.
Absolutely. And I feel like you did that. I mean, you could tell there was a clear evolution in your strategy this season. You still had that loyalty, but you were willing to make those big moves. And so it was fun to see that.
Yeah, that's it. I wanted to make big moves as best as I could. I didn't want to come in as a leader and be outspoken and try and make all the decisions. I wanted to take a back seat, which I felt like I did pretty well. Definitely stayed loyal. I definitely had values. But I also was able to forgive people this time around. I feel like last time it was hard for me to forgive if I'd been burnt before. And this time, I'd been burnt on Villains 2.0 Beach by, Liz and Nina and David and that. But like I was able to work with them and I enjoyed that part of it. And I let go of myself a bit, which was great. It was good fun.
I love it. Well, I'm curious to know too, that this preseason of this season, heroes were doing very well and you were positioned very well. Can you walk me through what did you do in the early parts of the game to position yourself so well in that Heroes Alliance?
Yeah, I think the Heroes Alliance or the tribe itself?
Either one or both. Yeah,
let's do both. So I feel like, to be honest, I mean, the Heroes tribe was just stronger, like physically, like across the board. There was more variety, more variations, but overall we were stronger. It was just clear. It was clear from an alliance point of view. For me, I was just doing nothing really different than what I did first game. I just wanted to be cool, calm, and collected, and be honest and transparent, wear my heart on my sleeve. But I wasn't. I had to bite my tongue a little bit in what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And I kind of let other people make those early choices where in hindsight, it probably bit me in the backside, which is fine because it's Survivor. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably it, mate, to be honest.
Well, that's good. Yeah. And I thought what was great was, now we get to the swap. You're in a great majority over there. And you're able to kind of, despite you getting some votes there, we're able to kind of pull in Liz and get that counter alliance going, trying to take out Haley. So I'm curious about that as well. What happened there? How did that come together? And then
Yeah.
when you were reunited with Liz at the merge, you didn't work together. So what happened there as well?
Yeah, a lot of great questions, mate. A lot of disappointing moments there too. So the working with Liz, mate, to be honest, so when my name got read out there and I could have gone home, I had a sense something was off. It was clear. I was asking questions. I'd already changed my vote. My vote was always going to be Geordie. When Sean got up and said our only hope here is to save whatever it was, is to vote Geordie. I was always voting Geordie. I wasn't voting Liz. I was said to them I was voting Liz, but I was always voting Geordie because I knew something didn't add up. And there was a 3-4 split. The split wasn't even. It was like a whatever it was. Anyway, I found myself in a pretty good spot when my name was written down, but I survived. I actually felt really good. And that's when my game had to level up. And I felt like I had to take the next step. And now I had to start playing the game and be calm for a minute, but know that like people are after me. And I was aware of that. I felt working with Liz, I knew she was on the bottom because she was going to go home. So I protected Liz. I saved Liz. So I brought Liz in. I already had David. He didn't want to write my name down. Then I had Nina, and we were a pretty close alliance. And my first vote on Heroes Beach was always going to be Haley. But Sean didn't want to vote Haley out because he was being selfish, self-preservation. I want to have Haley be a shield for me, and then you guys can make your own decisions. I was coming for Haley the whole game. And that was just as simple as it was. We get to Villains 2.0 Beach. We come for Haley again. Pulled off the greatest move. She had no idea. Haley had not one inkling she was going home that night. And she was going home that night. There was no doubt in my mind. She didn't go home. Liz goes to the other side. I whispered to Liz, make sure you tell the other guys that I'm looking after you over here. We're working together. And I'll see you in the merge, hopefully. Mate, this is where it all goes wrong. This is where it all goes wrong. And I didn't know. I think when we merged, it was kind of like, oh, look how many original Heroes numbers we've got. Let's all just bound back together and tell a simple story. But it's never as simple as that. I knew Jerry was gone. He was long gone. But I didn't know Matt would have turned, and I never fully trusted Haley. That's why I found it hard yesterday to trust Haley when she said, play the idol for Sam. How can you trust someone who just flipped on your alliance, right? It's very hard. It's easy said than done, and we can say it easy when we're watching it on TV. But Flick and I were so close, right? But she never let me to believe how tight she'd been with Shawnee and Liz and what she'd been telling them. Because I knew Liz, I had a great relationship with Liz. And it would have been amazing to see me, Liz, Shawnee, Flick, Nina, David as the alliance. Yep. That's what I was hoping it was going to be. But Flick comes in and she wanted to turn on Shawnee, and I'm like, well, is that the right thing to do? And because everything happened so fast, you don't really have a lot of time to think about it. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I think everyone's thinking, oh, well, we're Heroes strong. There's more numbers Heroes. Let's just get rid of what the evidence is. So it made sense, but it didn't make any sense. And I just wish I sat with Flick for 5 minutes and spoke to her about her last 24 hours on Heroes 2.0 Beach, and I would have filled her in about my experiences. And I think that's where the miscommunication was. That's where the entire thing goes south.
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. And like you, and I think many people watching, once Liz went over back to the Heroes with Shawnee and George, I was wanting, you three, Nina, David, you, to work with Shawnee and Liz and have this, Heroes and Villains majority coming into the merge.
So good, man. And like this was gonna, and I was like, when we sent Liz back, I'm like, you've got to go back. Let's mute you back to Heroes. And I'm in her ear going, just make sure you tell them we're working together. She was going to give me her idol. Like she was going to give me her idol right then. Like we were pretty tight. Like she trusted me. I trusted her. And yeah, I don't know, man. That shit just went south there.
I hate it, man.
Well,
one more question kind of about the strategy here before we get into some other questions. The day of your vote out. So what we just saw last night, what were you hearing around camp? We saw Haley talk to Nina a little bit. We're hearing something from Simon. We're hearing something from Haley. Who were you hearing from? And what was kind of the plan going into it for you?
The plan of it, so I was always on edge, right? So I was assuming my name was getting written down. I knew George was after me because I think the vote before, or the 2 votes earlier, before David went home, he was saying that I was the king of the tribe and I was running the whole thing. And in the hero side, I was running the majority alliance. And he had to chop my head off before he was coming for everyone else's or whatever he was saying. And so I knew my head was there somewhere along the line, but things weren't adding up, right? Because I was around tribe, and I knew that I was excited because we found this idol, and I knew Sean said he had one, so we had 2, and we'd agreed. Nina was playing her idol. She was actually giving me her idol, and I said, just slip it in my bag, like just put it in my bag. You don't have to give it to me now. Like I said, I actually said that. I said, just put it in my bag, and don't worry about giving it to me now. It's all good. I trust you. She never put it in my bag, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, don't worry, we'll just do it at tribal. And I'm like, yeah, George is going home. He's gone. Like I walked in pretty cool, calm, and collected. But what didn't add up was when I didn't fully trust Simon, right?
Mm-hmm.
That his vote was going. And if he was getting told the correct information from that alliance. And where it all come undone was when you hear it like at tribal council, I think someone made a comment like when they were out at the KFC challenge or whatever it was, that there's 6 alliance. There was only a couple back at camp or whatever it was. I'm thinking, weren't they a 7 alliance? Why are they leaving Simon out? Something's not going right here.
Yep.
And that's when I started going, uh-oh. And he's there telling me it's a 4-3 split on Nina and Sean. And I'm like, I don't think it's a 4-3 split. And then when I saw Nina, the reason I said to her, just play your idol, I'm like, I'm too nice sometimes. And I'm like, just play your idol for yourself. Yeah. And deep down, I'm like, if I am wrong, I don't want you to hate me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So just play it for yourself. Fuck. And then I'm like looking back going, oh no. And then I know she played it. Her mum's probably not going to be too happy with how she played her idol. She played it way too fast and it was too quick. And she didn't play. She knew to use the tool to her advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she was she was playing it for herself, she could have played around and I'm going to use this to vote for myself.
Yep.
I saw George's face completely change. He was like relieved, and I knew then Sean had to play his idol for me. Otherwise, I was getting home.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I hate that, man. That's so tough, and it's you have 2 idols, 3 people. And so much misinformation out there, right?
It's unheard of, mate. The way I went home last night, and I would have said it for anyone. I mean, you can't playing incorrectly 2 idols like that it's a rookie move.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a rookie move.
Yeah. Well, hey, man. Like I said, beyond the game, really appreciate the work you're doing with the Living organization and your podcast. It ain't weak to speak. I've been listening to it quite a bit lately. It's one of my top podcasts. Really appreciate your kind of mental health advocacy. Caleb and I on our podcast, we both really care about that. Someone who struggled with anxiety and panic myself, means a lot to kind of hear that and break that stigma. So really appreciate what you're doing there. And beyond that, I wanted to hear from you. What's that interaction between mental health and Survivor? How would you encourage someone preparing for the game to stay strong in their mental health?
Yeah, great, man. And mate, good on you too for speaking about your own journey. I think it's important. I think everyone's got a story. It's just about how far people are willing to dig and listen to other people's journeys. And mate, good on you guys for having an interest in mental health and sharing your own story. I think it helps people, and you might not even get told that. And that's kind of my goal with if I was to ever build a big platform or profile through my acting, or if it's through Survivor at the moment. I mean, mate, if I can help one person, I've done a good job. People getting ready for Survivor though, I think best thing that they can do is just try and stay calm. Just try and know that you're safe. Like, it's hard though, because I speak on this, mate. Like, literally, I did a TED talk about being the safest person possible so that people can speak up and share how they really feel. On Survivor though, you don't know what to trust or who's telling you the right information or not. So creating that safe space is really hard and challenging, and it's hard to actually really trust someone. So for people to open up on that game is tough in itself about their own challenges. But mate, I found myself in the last 2 times playing it that I've kind of been a pretty good listening ear to some people having their own challenges on the game, which has been nice. And I'd like to take people under my wing, man. I'd like to help people as best as I can, because it does help me. It helps me with my own challenges. But like, there are some things out of your control. So I think the best thing you can do if you're struggling with anxiety or you're preparing for playing Survivor or a tough obstacle in your life is just do the best that you can do and the things that are in your control, and have faith and trust in yourself to let go of the things that you can't control, because it will find its North Star or its landmark. You just got to let it go, I think. And it's easier to say that, but actually doing it, and if you can do it, you'll feel really good. And I just say to people, if they're preparing for Survivor, just have fun. Literally, it's a game. Go and have fun. Enjoy it. There's support if you need it. Survivor's got a great support system, great community, and they've got great psych support too.
That's good. Yeah, that's needed. And again, really appreciate you opening up with your story and breaking that stigma, especially for young men like Caleb and myself. It means a lot. So thank you for that. Really appreciate you. Last question for you. What kind of beer is Sean buying you, or has he already bought you?
It's not about what beer he's buying me. It's how many he's going to be buying me. He's going to be buying me something every week for the rest of his life for that.
Perfect.
There's no way he's getting away with 1 case of beer. Is that tight, man? If he thinks that's the case, he's cooked.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm gonna go have a beer for you tonight.
You have one for me too. Have one for me too, man.
Absolutely. I'll have a couple. So, Sam, thanks again. This was such a pleasure talking to you. Really appreciate it, and wish you nothing but the best moving forward. And congrats being on that jury as well.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate your support, man. Keep kicking goals. Big love.